ETFs, or exchange-traded funds, have become an incredibly popular tool for investing in recent years. Let's look at some stats. More than 1.3 million Australians have now invested in ETFs. That's double the number from 2019. In the 12 months from March 2020 through to March 2021, the amount of funds invested in ASX-listed ETFs surged by 80% to reach $100 billion. By the end of September this year, that figure had risen to about $123 billion, and it's expected to hit $140 billion by the end of this year. In fact, within the next 3 years, it's expected that there will be $200 billion invested in ASX-listed ETFs. Why are they so popular? Well, mainly because of the incredibly low cost and the diversification that they offer. Now, how do you choose which one to invest in? Well, this is where a tool like the Global ETF CENTER on the Monex trading platform can come in handy. If we have a look at that, the way you get to this, if you're already on the platform, is to come to the stock quote drop-down and click on Global ETF. That gets you to the ETF CENTER, Global ETF CENTER. And as you can see on the page here, in the middle of the page, there's a whole list of some of the more popular ETFs. We also, over on the left-hand side here, have a search box. If you know the symbol of an ETF that you want to trade, for example, the SQQQ, which is ProShares Ultra Short NASDAQ ETF. This one actually is an inverse ETF. So as the index falls, this ETF will actually increase in value. There's some stats here about it. If you want to trade it, you can click on the name. That takes you through to a page that has a bit more information about this particular ETF. And then down below we've got more information, market info and profile. If you're ready to trade it, you can click on the buy button. This takes you to the trading page. And just like investing in any other market, this one's pre-populated with the market and the stock code. So you just choose whether you're doing a limit order or a market order. Enter the price you're happy to pay and the quantity, check the good till date, and then hit the submit button. It really is as simple as that. Now let's return to the Global ETF CENTER. And again, looking in this search box over on the left-hand side, you can see we've got a few drop-downs here. So we can filter our universe of ETFs by type, asset class, commodity, currency, ETFs, fixed income, etc. The style, they could be actively managed, they could be asset allocated, equal weight, growth, value, hedging, income. So there are all sorts to choose from. What else have we got here? Groups, energy resources, multi-currency, multi-market, single currency. If we look at a category, within the category we might say decide that we want to have a look at government bonds. So we scroll down, you can see there are all sorts of things here. So developed markets, emerging markets, large cap, mid cap, small cap, total market, emerging markets, large cap again, retail, consumer, transportation, agricultural, alternative energy, all sorts of things. But if we jump to, let's say, government bonds, and then we hit the go button, this takes us to a list of ETFs that are focused on government bonds. Now, by default, you can see this list has been sorted in terms of daily average volume, so the ones with the highest daily average volume at the top. But we can change the order of these by coming back over to the search box over here and see the sort by drop-down. We might perhaps choose to do it by expense ratio. So select that, click go, and now the list has been reordered. And what you're seeing now at the top of the list is the ones that have the lowest annual expense ratio. So these ones are incredibly cheap. So we clear our search box, then you might decide that you want to have a look at a particular region. So let's say you're interested in investing in ETFs that focus on Latin America. You can choose that from the drop-down, hit go, and it shows you ETFs focused on Brazil, Mexico, Latin America, Chile. I think this one's Brazil, another one for Peru. So all sorts of things here. Again, we hit clear. Let's suppose you want to invest in a specific country, in Germany. So we click on Germany, hit go, and here's a list of ETFs that will give you exposure to the German markets. If we go back to the Global ETF homepage again, We can also see that there are some more popular selections down here on the right hand side. So we've got a selection of Japanese focused ETFs. There's also a selection of ETFs focused on China A shares, and some that are focused on gold. And there's another grouping here for ETFs that give you exposure to oil and gas. Now, something else you can do, it's a little outside the Global ETF Center, but once you've found some ETFs that you're particularly interested in, you can create a watch list of them. Now, I've got here a watch list for 10 of the most popular ETFs on the ASX. If we want to add another one, we can just choose our country here, Australia, punch in the code ACDC. I know that's an ETF in Australia, and here it is added to the top, ETFs, battery tech, and lithium. So that's another way that you can add these ETFs to a watch list and keep an eye on them that way. I think, as you can see, the world of ETFs is far bigger than the 200 or so that are listed on the ASX. If you're trading with Monex Australia, you can invest in ETFs, thousands of ETFs, from Australia, USA, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Thailand. There really is a huge number of ETFs that you can invest in. If you'd like to learn a little more, please visit the website monexsecurities.com.au or call our helpful client support team on 02 9103 9600. Hope you found this useful. Please do check out the website. Thanks very much for your time. Have a great day. Please also remember that this video provides information of a general nature only and does not take into account your personal objectives, financial situation, or needs. We always recommend that you seek independent advice before you act on any of these concepts, and make sure that you fully understand the risks of trading.